Hey, what's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of the Reggie Robinson podcast, where we navigate today's issues with a fresh and unbiased perspective. I'm your host, Reggie. Now, today's topic, we're going to talk about how immigrants are taking jobs from black people. Now, before we get started, make sure you check out my website, reggierobinson.com, and sign up for my newsletter. Also, remember to check out my YouTube channel, the Reggie Robinson podcast. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And also, if you like my content and you're considering contributing and supporting me, you can send me a cup of coffee or just go to my website, click on my support tab, and there's a couple ways you can take care of me that way also. Now, let's jump into it. Let's hop over to the main screen and let's work out this problem.
As sure as you're sitting there, the fact is that his big kill on the black people is the millions of people that he's allowed to come in through the border. They're taking black jobs now.
Triggered
and
Joe.
It could be 18, it could be 19, and even 20
You triggered,
million
Mr.
people.
President.
They're taking black jobs and they're taking Hispanic jobs, and you haven't seen it yet, but you're going to see something that's going to be the worst in our history.
Thank you. President Biden?
Now, let's look at who they're talking about.
The banner says Exodus from poverty. This column of humanity heading north from the countries of Central and South America and well beyond too. North to the United States because they think the opportunity, the hope is there.
We are looking to improve ourselves, to have a better quality of life, because in our country the situation is getting worse and worse, and we are only looking for an opportunity. What we are looking for is to work. We are not criminals. We are not bad people.
Okay, that's who now we know who they're talking about. So let's look at the jobs that these folks are taking. Look at the jobs that they're taking. Now this is a report from house.gov, government website, illegal immigration in the U.S. labor market. Okay, let's scroll down. It's giving various stats and stuff. Okay. These are the top 10 jobs. Plasters, stucco masons, graders, sorters, drywall installers, ceiling tile installers, tapestry, agricultural workers, animal breeders, pressers, textile, garment industry, roofers, sewing, okay, maids, housekeepers. Top 10 occupations with the largest numbers of illegal immigrants. Pretty much it mirrors the same. Maids, housekeeping, cooks, various construction laborers, cashiers, carpenters. Okay, so we see the type of work that these people are coming over here doing. Now, in order for us to know if they're taking black jobs, let's look at the jobs that black folks are doing. And let's look at what black people has the ambition to do. And the way we determine that, let's look at the degrees black people are getting. I think this is a very good resource. Howard University, most well-known HBCU. And we'll scroll all the way down. This is just their number of stats. But let's scroll it down to the degrees. Okay. All right. Professional doctorates, law, medicine, and dentistry. Research doctorates, general psychology, counseling psychology, computer science. postmaster certifications, pediatric dentist, orthodontics, general dentistry. Masters, social work, general business admin and management, occupational therapy. Bachelor degrees, general political science and government, general biological sciences, general psychology. 2 to 4 year post-secondary certifications. General dentistry. Dental hygienist. Okay. This is from Black Demographics. Top 20 college degrees held by Black millennials. Okay. Business management admin, psychology, criminal justice and fire protection, nursing. Number 5 is general business, biology, accounting, communication, general ed, political science and government, computer science, finance, marketing, social work, English language and literature, PE, parks and recreation, economics, liberal arts, and computer and IT. Now let's go back over here again so we don't forget these. Okay? Plasterers, stucco masons, drywall installers, roofers, sewing machine operators. Oddly enough, none of these are appearing on these lists. It's pretty interesting. But they're taking black jobs. They cleaning us out. They putting us on the bread line. Now we're gonna go to, this is Georgetown University, Center of Education and the Workforce. About African Americans, black folk. Let's scroll down. We got this infographic here. Let's pop over there. 10 majors by percentage of African Americans. Health and medical admin, human services and community organizations, social work, public administration, criminal justice, fire protection, sociology, IT industry, human resources, pre-law, and legal studies. So, with that being said, I'm really I'm convinced that what these politicians are saying, every time that they want to try to steer and coerce black people into believing into them and voting for their causes or voting for them, whenever immigration comes up, the first thing they say is that they're taking black people jobs. Now, looking at this is from reputable sources. This is not something Reggie made up. I didn't create none of this. I don't see where any of these jobs that our illegal immigrants are coming in and fulfilling, how that's affecting us. Now, in some aspects, it does. It could, when we're starting out entry-level work, stuff like that. But those jobs are not any of the jobs we want to do. We want to do other things. We're tired of doing the back-breaking work. This is what we want to do. These are the jobs we want. So either these politicians don't have access to this information, or they're trying to spin a particular narrative, or they're just out and out lying. I think it's the latter, because they have access to this information. And where are they getting this information? What black people are they talking to? What black folk are they talking to? Because all the black people I know very few that want to go into any of these jobs. Outside of the food service industry, being chefs, things like that, there's not many black people that I've ever met that said, you know what, man, I would love to just be a janitor. I love to just clean up the hotel. But if it wasn't for those immigrants taking my position, boxing me out, I never met any. Okay? Now, I'm not just blowing this stuff out my backside. I'm very familiar with a lot of these industries. Now, many of you know, I'm an entrepreneur, ran multiple business. The largest business that I run is a professional cleaning company. 25 employees, ton of contracts. And some of the main contracts that I get and do are pre and post construction cleaning. Okay, so I'm on a lot of these construction sites, and I don't see very many black people. I don't see very many black people doing that type of work, okay? As well as when it comes to the food service industry. When I was in the Marine Corps, I worked food service. I was a cook. And then while I was getting my degree, I worked in food service management for a few years. And at no time did I have anybody black come to me and say, man, I would love to just be able to be an executive chef or a restaurant manager, but if it wasn't for those illegal aliens taking my job. Never heard it. I've never heard it. Now, we're going to go over to the big screen again. Let's talk about semi-illegal immigrants that they never bring up, the HB1 visas. I'm going to go to those screens later. Okay. These HB1 visas, for those of you all who are not familiar with what a HB1 visa is, okay. Basically what HB1 visas are is visas, a special visa category that companies use to bring in employees from other countries. You know, under the guise that they can't find Americans to do the jobs. Now, keep that in mind, okay? They say they can't find Americans to do the jobs. So we're going to, just like we did with the illegal immigrants, we're going to look at some of the jobs, some of the people. We're going to take a look and see what's going on. Now, this is just a history. This is from Boundless. This is just a history of the HB1 visa program. Let me scroll all the way down. There was a particular item I wanted to see. All right. See these numbers? These are the two nations that's sending the majority of the folks over here with getting HB1 visas. India and China. Okay, I'm going to scroll down. Now these are the occupations that they're jumping into. Let me blow that up a little bit. IT, anything computer related, agriculture and engineering, administrative, education, medical, life science, mathematics and physical science, managers and officials, and then other miscellaneous technical and managerial work. Almost lines up with quite a few of the jobs that our young millennials are starting to do. Okay? There's small business. Okay, that's another one. I'm gonna go. Here we go. Now this is from Labor and the U.S. Labor Department. This is one of their fact sheets. And this is talking about prevailing wages. So when these companies bring these folks over here under the HB1 visa program, they're required to pay them prevailing wages. For those of you who don't know what prevailing wages are, basically prevailing wages is the highest wage for a position. Okay? That's, in a nutshell, that's what a prevailing wage is. You're going to get paid pretty much the most for that job. Now let's look at how much some of these folks are getting paid. Well, this is the visa overstays. We'll jump back to that in a minute. Scroll all the way down. The average HB1 visa worker, H1B worker, is paid $108,000 per year. Average U.S. worker, $45,760. Okay? These are the numbers of how many been approved. Now, if you look at this dark purple, this is professional sciences and tech. Look at how much is in tech. All tech right here. And once again, I'm extremely familiar with this aspect of it as well, because once I got out of the Marine Corps and while I was going to college to get my degree, and I got my degree in network engineering. So I worked in the tech industry for about 6 or 7 years. And the number one reason why I left the tech industry is for the simple fact that they wasn't paying Americans the way they should pay Americans. They were paying the HB1 visas way more than what they were paying us. They had less skill set, less talented. The vast majority of these folks that's in IT, that's over here on these HB1 visas, they only go to these little quick 8-week, 12-week boot camps, get a certification where they get the answers and they cheat. Basically, they cheat because you can buy the answers to all these Microsoft, Cisco, all these certifications. You can buy the answers, study the answers, and pass the test. And pass the certification exam. And that's what the vast majority of them do. You can go anywhere in America to one of these tech parts, out in California, North Carolina by the Raleigh-Durham area, down in Texas. Take a look at the folks that's working there. The vast majority of them are Chinese and Indian immigrants, which in turn, they're working IT, tech, and healthcare related fields. Which, let's go back to my screen. Those are the majority of jobs black folk are doing. Okay? And then when you talk to virtually any American that worked in the IT industry, that used to work in the IT industry, ask them why they left. And the reason, chances are, would be we were underpaid, wasn't getting paid what we were worth. We invested a lot of money to get these degrees and get these certifications. Well, I went through the VA. I used my VA. I still invested time to get it. Okay? We invest a lot of time, effort, and money to get these certifications and degrees, but we're not getting paid what we should. But when someone else comes over into our country, they get paid way more than what we do. That's why the vast majority of people, Americans, doesn't matter if they're black or white, are former IT workers, is because we never got paid the amount that we should. Okay? That's why I became a full-time entrepreneur and completely left corporate America, because I understand and I know my value. And I was sick and tired of, watching these folks get jobs completely unqualified, getting paid way more than I did, just because the company's getting a tax break. That's why the companies are doing it. So it's not the people that's coming over here from the South American countries, Mexico, this, that, the other, that's affecting the black workers. It's the folks that's coming from India, China, things like that, that's affecting black employment. So, and neither party has done anything about it. Former President Trump, he tries to tout that immigration was down during his administration, and HB1 Visas was down and all that, which he's 100%, he's absolutely right on that. But for half of his administration, the country was on complete lockdown. Nobody was coming in for work, leisure, or anything. No one was coming into the country. Okay, so that's why his numbers was down. The reason why Biden's up, because the people who was on hold, now they're going through. By all means, please don't think I'm toting the line for President Biden, because that is nowhere near not true. Okay, but I'm just saying what facts are. The reason why his numbers are somewhat up a little bit, because once he took over is when pretty much the border got opened back up, where people can start coming back in again, and then companies start opening back up, and the HB1C visa HB1 visas started being applied, being issued out again. Now, don't get me wrong, both of them has tried to do something about it. I'm not going to say they put forth a tremendous amount of effort. I know, I want to say under the Biden administration, they took the fines and fees from about $460, $470 to about $600-700. I know former President Trump, he lowered the amount of HB1 visas that would be approved. So they both did enough to say that they are doing something about the problem, but are they really trying to solve the problem? It really doesn't appear that they really are trying to solve the problem, because if they were trying to solve the problem, and the problem is that the reason why the HB1 visas are coming over is because American companies are not being able to find people to do those type of jobs. Why America is not investing in our people, ensuring that we have access to these type of jobs, the education to get these kind of jobs. But instead, they'd rather spend the money to bring other people in other than educate and build our workforce. Because that's our future. Our workforce is our future. In a capitalist country, the people are the main product. We are the product. We're the ones that make this country go around. Now, if they're constantly bringing people in for these high-paying jobs, because any of those, you look at any of these jobs that's on the HB1 visa list, they're all high-paying jobs. These are great paying jobs. The lowest paying job I would say on here would be our teachers. Education. That's probably the lowest paying job. But these folks are not coming over here to be elementary, middle school, high school teachers. They're coming over being college professors. They're coming over, taking professorships. That's what they're coming over here doing. They're not teaching our babies in elementary school. And maybe art. I don't know. Maybe art is probably a little, I don't know, maybe. So they're getting paid a phenomenal amount of money. Remember on that one sheet, $108,000 is the average amount that an HB1 visa recipient makes in the United States, and the average median income for American citizens is about $46,000. So how is our politicians, how are these so-called politicians doing anything to solve this problem? And more so, how are they doing anything to help the American people generate more, get higher paying jobs, or anything? To me, it appears that when they bring this topic up, it's just a little talking point that they're really trying to coerce the black people into voting for them. Because anybody that really pays attention and knows politics, when it comes to, and it doesn't matter, the Democrats or Republicans, they're fit when it comes to white America, they're almost 50-50, give or take, 4 or 5%. They're pretty close to about dead even on, when it comes to Republican and Democrats. And the deciding vote usually always is the black vote. And so they're only saying just enough to garner just enough black votes with the hopes that'll shift them. And they'll put them into the victory column. But then they don't understand black people. Because I'm not sure what black people they're talking to about that immigrants are taking our jobs. Because if you really think about it, black people are pretty much getting done with corporate America anyway. And here's some proof. Okay. Article from USA Today. Oh, let me pull up my screen. I'm moving fast. Okay, this is an article from USA Today. Black business owners. Okay. 6 out of 10 black adults understand supporting black business is very important to the black community. Now, let's go over here to this screen. This is on Pew Research. And here's the numbers. In 2021, there were 161,031 U.S. firms with majority black or African American ownership, up from 124,000 in 2017. Okay. Black-owned firms' gross revenue soared about 43% during this time, from an estimated $127.9 billion in 2017 to just under $184 billion in 2021. Okay? So black people, we going into business for ourselves. We getting tired of corporate America because we understand that the challenges that we face in corporate America, we're better off doing it on our own. There's another infographic. Let me enlarge this. Now this is as of stats from this year. These are very current stats right here. Just under 3.6 million total firms black firms. 217.3 billion in sales. just under 135,000 employees. Okay. Employer total sales, $133 billion. Okay. When they say they taking jobs from black people, that's not true. Black people are leaving the job market in droves, especially our young millennials. They're leaving the job market in droves. A lot of them are not even going into the job market, okay, because they have seen the things that their parents and grandparents have gone through in corporate America, and they're not interested and they're not willing to deal with it. You know, they have a clear understanding that they can do it on their own, and that the best way to do things is have your own business. Okay, so I'm very impressed with our young people. Very impressed with the way our young people are doing. So, as we can see from the numbers, this I'm gonna call it what it is. This out and out lie that these politicians, Republican and Democrats, say about immigrants taking jobs from black people. We just seen the numbers. It's not true. It is some illegal immigrants that's taking jobs from people, from Americans, but it's the illegals that America brought in, because we didn't talk about the overstays. I lost my screen. I should have did it in the order I had it in. I apologize, folks. Okay, yeah, here's the visa overstays. For business or leisure, Canada and Mexico. Canada, Mexico, Brazil, and Venezuela and Nigeria. They coming over here to go see Disneyland, and they staying. Now, our college students, the ones that's coming and getting visas, HB1, getting visas for college, that are staying. Number one, China. Number two, India. Now, don't those numbers look very familiar? The folks that was coming here on the HB1 visas, these are the top two countries. This is the immigration that's hurting America. The folks that America is inviting here, and they're staying. Not only are they staying, they're staying and taking very high-paying jobs. Very high-paying jobs. 108,000 on average. How many people in America, on average, make 108? There's not many of us. There's not many of us that's in that area. Okay? So the people that America wanted to come here are causing the problem. They're causing more of a problem than those folks that's coming over here working jobs as farmers, cooks, cleaners, and stuff like that. Because these people are taking that $108,000 and sending it straight back to where they come from. You know, I mean, how much money is a cook sending back to Mexico? You know, about $16, $17 an hour worth versus $108,000. I think this is a bigger issue than the issue that's being portrayed. Okay? Now, when I say this, it's not that I'm trying to stir people up or get people against any other group or anything like that. You know, I'm cool with everybody and everybody's cool with me. You know, when you look at my friend group and you look at different events and things like that I'm at with my friends, it's like the UN. I got people from everywhere that's friends and cool with me. So it's not that I'm trying to pinpoint or target a certain group or anything like that. These are numbers, and numbers don't lie. Okay? So Black America, Are we going to continue to fall for the jokes and the games that these politicians, Republican and Democrats, try to play with us to try to sway us to vote for them? And then once we vote for them, they completely forget about us until the next election cycle, and then they come back with the same rhetoric. The immigrants are taking their jobs. They come back with the same rhetoric. When are we going to wake up and pay attention and use our vote the right way, with something that's going to benefit us and our community, which in turn is going to help the entire American family? Okay? So, now with that being said, make sure you check out my website. I'll have all the links, show notes, and everything like that in the show notes for this particular podcast. And remember, make sure you like, share, and subscribe my video, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel, like my YouTube videos, and if you're considering supporting me, buy a brother a cup of coffee. The link will be down in the description, or you can click on the support tab on my website. I'm Reggie. Thanks for listening to my podcast. Have a wonderful day.